Welcome back to r/legal advice, where today an insane neighbor kills a 7-year-old girl's service dog. If you are interested in hearing about this story, then please watch until the end of the video. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right in. And the first one is titled "Being Threatened with a Lawsuit and Being Slandered on Facebook for Refusing to Let a Pregnant Woman Tan." I have owned my tanning salon for years now, and I have put in a lot of hard work to make my business stand out. It's at a point where I am a major competitor in taking clients from some of the bigger chains in my area. This has earned me a lot of hatred from the owners of those chains, since I refuse to do membership fees or any of the other shady crap they do. And yes, there is a lot of shady stuff these people do to make an extra dollar. Today I had a pregnant woman come in to check on pricing, and she filled out the waiver. I assumed she was coming back after her pregnancy was done to start her package like a few of the other pregnant girls had done. She walks past to one of the rooms and asked me to set it for 12 minutes. I told her no way was she tanning in my store while pregnant. I could possibly lose my business / my reputation would be trashed. After a few minutes of back and forth with her screaming and me refunding her money, she finally left the shopping center. I woke up this morning to multiple texts and Facebook notifications. This girl has gone on the warpath with her friends, posting bad reviews everywhere they can. She had also taken a picture of me from her car, hugging my friend goodbye, and has it up on Facebook accusing me of sexually harassing my customers. She has me blocked, so I cannot see any of it, but my friend did some digging. This woman is my main competition's effing fiancé of all things. We have screenshots of multiple pictures of them together and of her in the store in the store's uniform. I am beyond pissed and very much so scared for my future. It took me a long time to build my business, and it is finally paying off big time. Please help me, Reddit. Edit: I am male, not female. I have a firm no dating customers rule, just won't do it no matter what. That, and because I am upfront and honest, is what has led to me being successful. Edit number 2: I forgot that I had not added this, but I now have legal representation and he is handling it all. He has gone full bloodhound, and I feel very confident now we can weather this. We have multiple copies of screenshots and screen records of videos of her inside their saloon and her promoting their saloon before she deleted them. My one friend went in there today to check prices, and she managed to stealth a video of her talking about her upcoming wedding to the owner. We have all of these documented along with the Facebook posts, and I have multiple backups as a just in case. I hope I can come back with a great update for you guys, hell, even a mild one as long as things go back to normal. Edit number 3: I know this is locked and semi-old, but I acknowledge I did not do my due diligence in finding out whether it was a law. I stupidly assumed my former bosses / workplaces were telling the truth, as my first boss has owned hers for 20 years. I am truly sorry for my F-up, so please stop accusing me of being a bad person. And guys, to be honest, I'm not sure about you, but for me it seems that OP's focus is a little bit off. This does not really seem like a pregnant woman issue, instead this seems like a crazy competitor that is basically out to get OP. In my opinion, this all sounds like a total setup. Would you agree with that? Let me know in the comments if you also think this is a setup. Furthermore, I mean, if it's really true that she is the fiancé of the competition, she could have or probably would have made negative claims if she was allowed to tan while pregnant. So yeah, all in all, I really believe this was a terrible setup that was done in order to make OP look bad and potentially even lose her business. And the next one is an update about the story from before. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who responded to me with all of the advice. And I want to apologize if I offended anyone, since I did not do my due diligence in finding out if this was truly illegal or not. I should have made an effort to double check this instead of assuming what my past bosses / work experience said. I effed up, I admit it, and I am very sorry. I now have an updated waiver which includes pregnancy, which my lawyer helped me with. And now for the juicy part you are all waiting for. The woman and her fiance appear to be in some deep shit after I posted everything I had. Quite a few people had no idea she worked at a tanning salon herself, let alone she was marrying my direct competitor. Public opinion has turned on them big time, and both of them have disabled their Facebooks as of today, although their store page is still up. I even got a nice phone call from them screaming at me and threatening to sue me for harassment, which I just hung up on after telling him to sue me. F them, I welcome them to sue me and have to admit their own actions are the cause of this. Also, some people were misunderstanding when I was referencing Accutane. I know that it is highly unlikely for a mid-20s pregnant woman to be taking it. The only reason I brought it up was it was the first thing on the top of my head that causes you to have an increased chance of burning. There are a number of OTC medicines that can cause this issue. It is the reason why I have a specific spot on my waiver about using your judgment while tanning on any medicine, and a list of specific meds and antibiotics that have known reactions on the wall of each room. Finally, Facebook and Google have been absolute bros with helping me out with removing the false bad reviews. Yelp, on the other hand, is a different story, and we are looking into what we can do. They have basically told me that unless I pay to advertise with them again, I can expect absolutely no help at all. They have also hidden all of my good reviews, new and old. All you see are the negative 1-star reviews. Never do business with Yelp, no matter how much it seems to be good. And guys, I have to say, that is actually a very interesting point about Yelp. Personally, I did not know about Yelp being bad, but I know that platforms like TripAdvisor can be manipulated very easily, which can obviously result in some businesses getting suppressed while others possibly rise up to the top with fake reviews. And now it also came to my mind that Yelp or TripAdvisor are not the only platforms where you can do something like this, because in the past, as an example, I have seen a very well-known YouTuber promote a super small pizza restaurant in India, and this guy pretty much has around 1.5 million subscribers, I guess, and after he promoted the restaurant basically instantly got 3,000 plus positive reviews, which makes it the most popular restaurant in India. So yeah, don't always trust these ratings. And the next story is titled, I got summoned for injuring my neighbor's kid who hurt herself on my property. USA/California, I was served with a paper to be summoned in small claims court, and I am being sued by my neighbor for $10,000 in damages. Long story short, my neighbor's kids, around 6 years old, were playing on my front yard without my knowledge or consent, and one of them climbed onto my water fountain. I heard a loud crash and I found that my fountain was destroyed and it toppled over on top of the child. I had to call 911 since the kid was bleeding badly. Now here we are, as I just got served with papers to show up at court. My neighbor is making up excuses saying I failed to secure my fountain and that it was a tragic accident waiting for it to happen. They are suing me for damages and the medical bills for their child. What should I do to prepare myself? Is there any counter argument to that, especially since it was private property and the kid should have never been climbing on my fountain in the first place? And guys, I'm curious what you think about this situation, as it does not really seem that OP was negligent, so he should be free of any liability. And that leads me to the next thing I'm wondering right now. What if I have something like an open pit with fire or something in my backyard and then some kid climbs my fence and jumps in there? Can I be held liable for this? I mean, that person is basically trespassing on my private property, so I am not sure if I should be liable, right? Either way, while you're at it, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you would like to support me during these difficult times. And the next one is an update to the story where a kid injured himself or herself, I forgot, on a property. So, long story short, my neighbor sued me for $10,000 in damages. I also countersued and wanted my neighbor to reimburse me for any court paperwork that I had to do, the fountain he broke, and the time I wasted. The judge concluded that I was not responsible for injuring my neighbor's kid and that the fountain was properly secured to the best of my ability. I also showed him the video of the kid playing on top of the fountain before it fell. The judge told the parents that ultimately it was their responsibility to look after their kid, especially when the video showed over 3 minutes of the kid playing on top of the fountain before the collapse. They knew their kids were playing on the fountain and they did not tell them to stop. The judge rewarded my request for the damages to my fountain, and now my neighbors are hating on me. Just weeks ago, my house was egged on Halloween away from the view of the camera, and I was the only house that was egged. Very suspicious that I would be the one house that was egged and know the position of the camera unless I have shown it to them, like in court. Are there any ways to protect myself? And guys, you know, the good thing is that OP knows where the cameras are, so he also knows where the blind spots are. So, in my opinion, it would make sense to get another camera and point it at the blind spot of the original camera. Did you guys ever have any experience with setting up security cameras, or did you ever do it for your own home? Let us know in the comments if you ever did. And the last one is titled, "Neighbor may have killed my daughter's service dog." We live in Wisconsin. I had a question about small claims court. I have a special needs daughter and we were in the process of training a service dog for her. We bought our own puppy and we were working with a certified trainer to get her dog ready and certified especially so she could bring her dog to school as she is having a very difficult time there. About 5 months ago, the dog was outside in our fenced-in yard when my daughter heard the dog scream and then said she saw the neighbor turn into his home. When I went out to check on the dog, it was obvious her leg was broken. Whatever happened had shattered her femur and the vet needed to remove about 1.5 inches of bone and put a plate to hold it together. The dog did great and was mostly healed, and we were doing water therapy so she could continue on with being a service dog. My daughter needed this dog, and even though she was not certified yet, she helped her at home and at families' houses so much. A few weeks ago, my dog was poisoned. She came back in after letting her out in the morning, and a while later she started vomiting blood and we rushed to the vet but never made it in time. The vet said she was poisoned. My daughter is now devastated and has not been back to school except for a few days since. Her meltdowns are worse than ever and coping with her has become impossible. With the thousands in vet bills we owe, we cannot afford the $800 for a new puppy to start training again. We are back on a years-long waiting list. We have reached out for donations, all to no avail. I guess my question is, what are the chances of winning in small claims court? We have zero proof and our only witness is a 7-year-old with special needs who would never be able to step foot in a courtroom, let alone in front of the neighbor at this point. We cannot spend the money to file unless we are fairly certain we can win. The entire situation sucks and my daughter is paying the ultimate price and I cannot help her because of the thousands in vet bills. Any advice is welcome. If you have questions, please ask and I will answer as soon as possible. Edit, my fears about not getting anything from the neighbors were true, it seems. Unfortunately, with no hard proof and only a few a-hole comments from the neighbor after each incident, it is not enough. I am heartbroken for my daughter and my other kids who have to deal with it too. I hope my neighbor can hear her meltdowns at all hours of the day and night and he feels at least a bit guilty. It is frustrating someone can take away something so life-changing and important to a child's life and just get away with it. I do appreciate everyone who responded and gave advice for when we are able to get a new dog. We are on a few waiting lists, but they are years long. We waited 4 years before we decided to just train the dog ourselves. So now we are back at the bottom of the list. And guys, please correct me if I'm wrong, but if the neighbor really on purpose broke the dog's leg and poisoned the dog and then killing it, that means he committed a crime. So definitely you have to contact the police. But I guess that is the issue. During the investigation, the police has to find any sort of evidence. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to win a civil case. Would you have any other advice for OP on what to do? I suppose if the police does not find any evidence and the neighbor would not admit, and obviously he won't admit what he did, then OP is probably out of luck, unfortunately. And the next one is an update to the service dog story. Thank you to everyone for the kind words and advice on my last post. We have decided we are unable to do much, if anything, to get back any costs for my daughter's dog, which really sucks. We did talk to another lawyer about suing for the cost of the vet bills. They are more than what is allowed in small claims court, so we would definitely need a lawyer. She said we may have a chance if my daughter could speak in court about what she saw and heard. We took my daughter to the courthouse and into a courtroom to explain to her what she needed to do, and it is not going to happen. She was scared and had a meltdown, and that was an empty room with her therapist beside us. There's no way she could do that, so we are done. She has been traumatized enough. My daughter still cries most of the time and only goes to school about twice a week now. It has been an absolute hell and I am extremely frustrated with the system, even if I understand why it is this way. As far as my neighbor, he is still an a-hole. He threw firecrackers over our fence in the middle of the night, but because we did not see him do it, the cops could not do anything. He was sitting on his porch when the cops came though. We have spoken with other neighbors about it and it seems he's not well liked, but some just want to ignore it, which I understand. One awesome neighbor works for a security company and brought us security cameras and installed them all at no cost to me. He told his work about our story and they donated them. We have had them about a week and have had no issues yet. We still have not had luck in finding another puppy to train. We have reached out to everyone we can think of and either they still want more than we can afford or they cannot help at all. I won't give up though, my daughter needs this more now than ever. Our vet is also going to donate the first 2 years if normal vet care for our puppy when we get one. Anyway, this got long, but I appreciate everyone's suggestions and kind words on my last post. And to be honest guys, I cannot believe that this crazy neighbor gets away scot-free. But then I suppose that is just the justice system. If there is no evidence, then you are not guilty. And even though that makes for crappy situations like this, I still think it's the correct way to do it. I mean, people should be innocent until proven guilty, even if then some a-holes like this guy slip through the system. In addition, what is your opinion about that? Do you think that is the right way? Innocent until proven guilty? Because I know in some countries you are basically guilty until proven innocent. Let us know in the comments. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripestories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day and I see you again tomorrow.